no idea.
How you doing?
How are you?
It's what I get to see you this week. Right? I get to see you this week. You're supposed to be off this week. You got me confused there for a second. Okay. All right. Hey, good. How you doing? Good to see you, buddy. Thank you. Yeah, it's a different look. Can't take any credit for anything. But it looks beautiful.
Is this Shannon? Yes. I'm going to be her liaison, so I need to meet her. Yes. Oh, that'd be great.
if you wouldn't mind grabbing your snacks as soon as possible and taking a seat, I appreciate it.
Mrs. Burns.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the 7th Annual Camp Celebration. My name is Mr. V, and I want to thank you all for coming to celebrate the holidays, our students, our volunteers, and our guests. I want to thank the McKinley Street Ensemble. Please give them a round of applause. They were great. It is now my pleasure to present to you the McKinley Singers under the direction of Mr. Stephen Popa. Please welcome them.
the Wood Brigade was ever out on parade.
be no exception. So we will finish our performance for you this afternoon with 12 Days After Christmas. If you hadn't already noticed, there is a toy theme going on, and we invite you to Unstop Hall on Thursday night for our full concert called Through the Eyes of a Child. Without further ado, 12 Days After Christmas.
The first day after Christmas.
Okay, I know you'll all be disappointed. I won't be singing right now. Thank you, Stephen, and your ensemble for great performances. What a great way to kick off our celebration and get in a cheerful holiday spirit. Please give them another round of applause. Okay, with that, I'd like to start off my part of the evening and introduce a couple of special guests. She is the Timken Early College High School Assistant Principal, Andrea Rosewall. Please stand. Give her a nice round of applause. Ken, did Eric Resnick come? Did you see him? No. Okay. Well, that ends that. I'd be totally negligent if I didn't recognize some of the special people who support camp every day and make this program so successful. First of all, for years, she's like the invisible volunteer. She shows up at all our seminars. She helps put out snacks. She works tirelessly. Where is Kay Leisure? Where did Kay go? See, she's that invisible. She's in the kitchen. Where's Kay? Okay. Give Kay a big hand. I will not give you her phone number because it's like a good handyman. If I do that, Kay will never be available to volunteer for Leslie and I. So, he heads up our liaison program. I don't know if you know it, but all of our graduates and college students, and even and beyond, we have liaisons from the operating committee, and we call once a month. We're trying to find out if the students need anything, how they're doing, if they're scholarship recipients, how their grades are, if they've received laptops from the program. We want to know how the equipment is, but this liaison program is a monumental task to keep track of. We have over 45, 50 alumni, and he does an unbelievable job, Mr. Craig Stambach. This gentleman, 2 years ago, when we received our first donation for the Camp Scholarship Fund, I went to him and I asked him if he would mind heading up the scholarship committee. And he never says no to me, and he's doing an unbelievable job, as you'll hear later about the scholarship committee. Mr. Bruce DePietro is right back over here. He's also one of our servers this afternoon. No apron, no Santa hat. No, okay, all right, that's coming. She's not here, but I still have to recognize her. She's like an angel, sent to camp about 3 years ago. She does everything from creating this monthly seminars with me, scheduling the entire year so that all of our students have the right schedule with Mr. Bruno. She has input into our upcoming shadowing program, and she is also in charge of the Young Leaders Association. Marcia Cusson, she's not here, but she does an unbelievable job for the camp program. She's a camp graduate. She's also an OpCom member, and she is a perfect example of what the Early College High School is all about and their students. Where is Justine Chester? Justine, stand up. Stand up, Justine. They lead our healthcare and students, and they have exciting things going on in 2020. I did see Dr. Mangala Betgarar. I don't know if Asanta's here. Where are you, Mangala? There she is, back here. Again, thank you. He's my brother from another mother, and she is your mama bear. They are founding members of the CAST organization, and we love them dearly. John and Rhonda Sipek. They're my life rafts. They bail me out all the time. They're currently the authors of our shadowing program going in, which is very exciting for 2020. Diane Miser and Debbie Myers. Where are you? Right back over here. He's my Superman. He does it all. And I think John Sipek can attest to this. Adrian Allison was so one day. I could not do this without this man and this administrative help. He is invaluable, and I think the students love him. At least I've never heard a complaint. And every time he's here, I think he's got a flock of students after him. But Mr. Dennis Tringer, right here. So staying with the superheroes theme here, how about Batman and Robin? She loves her students. She's always there to help. She truly, if I need anything to do with a student, Mrs. Bruner is always there. He is the best damn principal, I think, in this entire universe. Mr. Bruner and Mrs. Bruner, where are you guys? Do they both have tights? I don't know. That's probably not the superhero he would have picked, but... I have to tell you, I'm just the director of camp. And similar to Stephen Popa, the real stars of the show are my ensemble. And that's my operating committee. I'd like to read off all the operating committee members, and at the end, if you'd all please stand. Dr. Mangala Betgarar, Dr. Vasant Betgarar, Ravi Bhatia, Ken Bruner, Tabitha Bruner, Justine Chester, Marcia Cousins, Bruce DePietro, Dennis Drennan, Spencer Garrity, Molly McDougall, Eric McKim, Diane Miser, Debbie Myers, Dr. Lauren Petrie, Laura Prangerman, Mr. Jim Sage, Mark Savodio, Craig Stambach, John Sipek, Dennis Stringer, Leslie Venturella, and Ron Wolkoff. I love you all. Please stand. And lastly, of course, the love of my life, my wife and partner for 41 years, my wife Leslie. As you can see, I need a lot of help. So maybe my ensemble is actually an orchestra, so what? If I missed anyone, please accept my apologies. Before I get to my personal best part of today, and maybe of the whole year, I want to recognize a very special group of students who graduated Early College High School and remain engaged in camp to this day. They are terrific role models for all current camp students, and your liaisons and I appreciate the privilege of following you on your journeys. Please stand and give it up for the camp alumni. Please all stand. Come on. Yeah. In Camp Columbine, stay tuned. We have an exciting new program I'll tell you about in a few minutes that directly would affect you. Now, as I said, the absolute favorite part of my program. You now get to hear from the stars of the show. They enthusiastically agreed to share their past personal journeys and their camp experiences. And when I say enthusiastically, normally every year I would invite about 8 students to speak, and I'm lucky if about 5 answer enthusiastically. They all enthusiastically wanted to speak, so I'm very excited. So my first speaker, she is currently a junior here at the Early College High School. She actually runs with Dennis Trenger, the website, and does our videoing of all of our seminars. She's looking to possibly major in fashion merchandising and/or human resources, Debbie Myers. We'll hook you up together. Miss Asha Gardner, please come up.
Hi everyone. My name is Asha Gardner, like he said. I am in the 11th grade and I plan to attend Walsh University. I would like to study in human resources, fashion and merchandising, and communications with a minor in gender studies. Camp has influenced my life because it has helped guide me in my college journey so far. The financial aid seminar with Mr. Toby McCammon helped me get an understanding of financial aid and how important it is. The alumni panel helped me see what college looked like and answered a lot of my questions about college. The college planning seminar with Mr. Mark Serdovio helped me get an insight of how much college is going to cost and what scholarships I can apply for. Camp has also helped me become a better leader. Currently, as Mr. Ventrella said, I am the lead of the video team for camp. The video team basically puts up all the videos that happen to appear on the camp website. In the 8 months that I have been a part of the video team, we have faced a few challenges. The old head of the video team, hi James, where was I at? Okay. He was leaving for college and I had big shoes to fill. Then we struggled to find another person who would join the video team. We had someone secured to help us out, but then they decided that they didn't want to be a part of it anymore, which is fine, of course. We then had to find someone else who would help us out. Mr. Trenger and I talked and brainstormed about it, and a short time after, Adam happened to join our team. After all of this, I was like, okay, so you guys know this one State Farm commercial where there was like this big crash and the helium tank like exploded everywhere, and the police officers were all like, everybody remain calm, there's no reason to panic. Yeah, that was me, okay? Yeah, this experience has helped me become a better leader because it gave me insight on how to navigate through different challenges that I will have to face. I would like to thank Mr. Trenger for always being there for me every step of the way. Since the beginning, when he would always answer my emails that consisted of a million questions and helping me with the camp videos. I would also like to thank Mr. Ventrella for giving me the opportunity to speak to all of you tonight. I would also like to thank both Mr. Ventrella and Mr. Trenger for seeing potential in me, accepting me into camp to help me grow, and connecting me with lots of business people. Furthermore, I would like to thank my family for always believing in me to always succeed and help me through all the trials and tribulations that I have experienced throughout my life. Last, but certainly not least, I would like to thank Adam for stepping in to help me with the camp videos. The camp videos sometimes take a long time to upload, so a second set of hands is great to have. I am grateful for the fact that you took it within yourself to help out with the videos despite having a busy schedule. And I would also like to thank my wonderful audience for giving me a chance to speak and listening to me. I hope you guys have a great rest of the year, and thank you for listening.
Next up is Naya Smith. Naya is a junior, she's a senior here at the Early College High School. She is a junior cast leader in so many ways. I know Mr. Sypek counts on her. She is interested in majoring in psychology and education. Naya, please come.
Hello, I'm Naya. I wrote down what I'm going to say today in hopes that I can thoroughly communicate to you all what exactly CAMP means to me. So, I joined when I was a sophomore, and I remember one of the first tasks that we were given was to create our profiles, which is basically a resume. So in my mind, I thought that it would be important once I got into college, but I didn't really see how I was going to use it now. But honestly, I've already used it so many times. I didn't know that some college applications would need it, and also the very job I have now at Journeys needed a resume, and instead of not having one and having to put one together, I already had my profile in my file so I could just upload it, and it has been so helpful for me. Also, on the note of jobs, I remember Mr. B telling us that whenever we have a job interview to bring in our padfolios. So our padfolios are, it's like a black booklet and it has paper in it and our pens and just a bunch of resourceful things that we may need. And he always told us to bring it to a job interview because it would make us look more professional regardless of whatever job you were applying for. So around a year and a half ago, I did just that, and it helped me get another one of the jobs that I have today at SkyZone. My manager now noted that it was very professional and he greatly appreciated it. So in one way or another, both of the jobs that I have now today, I can thank CAMP for because in simple, detailed ways, they have helped me. And also, it has not just been helpful through jobs. If you don't know, the college application process is very hard. The scholarship part, the FAFSA part, the figuring out money part, it's very difficult to decipher through. So one day I remember telling my parents after a seminar that I was very overwhelmed and nervous, but I was glad that I was more prepared because of the seminar that we went through. It was regarding scholarships and loans. Also in regard to financials, through CAMP, my family and I were able to sit down with Toby from the College Planning Alliance and to better be equipped and prepared for how we were going to pay for college. I personally know that in our community there are not many people discussing the knowledge that you need to know when preparing for college, but I'm thankful that CAMP is changing that narrative. I know that I'm prepared, and because I'm human, I know that I don't know everything, but I now have people to call. So I would specifically like to thank the Sypex for being so helpful in any way that I would like to volunteer, any big God-sized projects that I would like to come up with. I would like to thank Mr. Trainer and Mr. Venturella for just being so helpful with figuring out, like going through school, going through early college. I would also like to thank Mr. Bruner for being a great principal and helping us out all throughout the way. And I would also just like to thank everyone in here, and my family, my mom and my dad, for being so helpful and supportive throughout this all. And I would like to thank anyone else for the countless hours that you all put together for CAMP. So thank you.
Next up, he's a senior. He was able to secure an internship this summer at AWP, and he is interested in engineering. Mr. Gabe Greer.
Hello, as he said, my name is Gabriel Greer. I'm a senior at Timken Early College. What I want to do is I want to major in mechanical engineering and maybe minor in finance. I would just like to tell you guys, CAMP, like, they really just changed my life. I'm not even joking with you because the opportunities that they gave me, like the ability to work at AWP, like that is amazing. And like before I joined CAMP, I had my own resume, but throughout creating my student profile, my resume is like right here. My student profile is all the way up here. Like the difference between the two is just insane. My recommendation for like juniors in CAMP, if you have time for an internship, or even if you have the ability to make time for an internship, I heavily like suggest that you make that time, because the opportunity is just amazing. I would like to give a special thanks to Mr. B and Mr. Tranger and the ones at the camp committee for allowing me to have the opportunities that I have today. And I would like to give a special thanks to Mr. Sipek and my managers, Brittany and Chad, for allowing me to maintain my job. It's the ability to work on the weekdays that I don't necessarily have classes helps me dramatically. Because in the job I had before, I only worked weekends and I worked pretty late. And I also do speech, and I have to wake up really early on Saturday morning, and staying up late on Friday night, and then waking up early on Saturday. It was difficult. So, yeah. And my holiday wish is that the incoming juniors have the opportunity to have a great senior year, a great senior start, just as I did. Thank you.
She is a senior. She also had an internship at AWP. She will be majoring in engineering, and I always get her mixed up with her sister Kayla, Natalie Ganeri. Please come up.
Okay, admittedly, I didn't know I was going to be talking because, like you said, he always goes to me and Kayla. Since we have been here, I'm Natalie Ganeri. I recently got accepted into the Ohio State University, and I'm now in the College of Engineering too, so that's exciting. I did have an internship at AWP with Gabe and James and Deanna. The opportunities that camp has given me, I don't have enough time to list them all off, okay? Because it's just unbelievable. To start off with, my first job was at AWP. I wasn't at McDonald's, which there's nothing wrong with that, but I wasn't at McDonald's for burgers. I was at AWP drafting up pros, doing civil engineering, really expanding my abilities. I learned a lot of skills through working there. I learned how to, be more of a leader, how to work better with other people. The people that I worked with in my little engineering group are phenomenal. I don't keep in contact with them, but I love them, and I know if I wanted to reach out to them, they would be happy to be a fan of that. Much like Gabe said, another thing that camp really helped me with was my resume. Because I compared to somebody who's a close friend of mine, and he's 20 years old, and he has a resume, and mine kind of blows his out of the water because of camp. Because they say, well, instead of just listing off, putting that you're a leader, put this instead, add this here, and, just make it look more professional. And it's a really good thing to have. I want to thank all of you guys, of course, especially Mr. Trigger. Every single time I go to see him, he has a smile on his face, makes my day better. Mr. B for putting up with me and my lack of responses. Mr. Bruner, Mrs. Sipek, Mr. Sipek. I love all of you guys. Thank you.
Mary, I did send you a note about speaking. You didn't respond. She graduated this year, 2019. She actually had an internship at the Timken Corporation, Timken Company. She's a scholarship recipient in the second year of us giving away scholarships. She attends the University of Akron. Jesse Pennington, come on up.
Hello. Like he said, I'm Jesse Pennington. I'm a first year at the University of Akron, and I'm majoring in civil engineering with a minor in geology. Camp has helped me way more than I ever expected, especially my first year in college. One of the obvious big helpers was the laptop. I didn't have to go to the library every time I needed to get something done, and it was right there, it was accessible, and it was free, which is great. But I also was, a scholarship recipient, so that's going to help me immensely paying to college, so hopefully I don't graduate with a bunch of debt like a lot of college students do nowadays. But camp has helped me do more than just these physical things. It's helped me build skills that I know a lot of freshmen don't have that I came in with, so I was already ahead of the game. I learned a lot from like the monthly meetings we would have, but I also learned a lot from my internship. Like you said, I had this job at Timken that I learned more than I expected. I was in their research and development center. I basically just shadowed and learned, and it was a great experience. I was able to get a feel for like a professional work environment, and I was able to work on my communication skills, and I got to talk to engineers that worked there. Since I wanted to become an engineer, it was really helpful to like hear from people who are in a position that I will hopefully be one day. It was just really cool, and it was nice to get paid to learn about something that actually really interests me. So it was just a bunch of positives. It was a good way to spend my summer. But other than that, the monthly meetings we had, you learn everything from communication skills to to interview tricks and time management, which they're all important skills you'll need in any job or college or like professional environment for the rest of your life. So it was really good experience. Campus helped me it helped ground me to the student I am now. So my advice for all you current students is to just take advantage of everything camp has to offer you, because if you play your cards right, you can end up with scholarships, a cheap car, you can end up with lots of life lessons which are priceless. You'll be able to be that extra step ahead of everyone your freshman year of college, just like I was, or even ahead of other high schoolers where you are now. So all the hard work you're doing and putting in right now really pays off in college, I promise. It might not seem like it, and it seems like a lot of stress, but I've actually gained a lot of valuable life lessons from camp. So I'd like to thank all the people that make up camp. I never felt like I couldn't ask a stupid question, and I've always had someone to go to if I needed help. So I've been paired with a wonderful liaison, Ms. Myers. She's been super helpful. So I'd like to thank her, and Mr. Tranger, and Mr. V, and everyone else that makes this possible. So thank you. Happy holidays.
She graduated also this year, 2019. She also had an internship at AWP. She is, again, a scholarship recipient, and she goes to the Miami of Ohio. Diana Mage, please come on.
Sorry. Hi everyone, I'm Deanna Mejia. I attend Miami University, which is definitely not in Northeast Ohio, but Mr. Tranger and Mr. V had to accept it, and they still wouldn't for it. So something that I really wanted to talk about was how I declared my major as a marketing major. And I was considering economics for a while just because I took a microeconomics class thanks to Early College, and I really loved it. But then I went into my academic advisor, and I was talking about doing the master's program at Miami to earn my master's in economics, and she informed me that I would have to take up to Calc 3. So then I looked back at my internship and realized how much I loved it, and then decided on majoring in marketing. So not only did this internship help me make that decision so much more easy, it also helped me become more financially stable, because within the first month I went through my entire declining balance for my meal plan. So if I wanted to eat outside of the dining halls, I had to use my own money, which was not fun. So it was definitely something that I could fall back on, and I'm really appreciative of, because I would have much rather have done that marketing internship rather than working as a lifeguard for the 4th summer in a row. So something that I did that was really special at Miami this past semester was work with the Cleveland Clinic. We came up with a solution for them and presented it in front of them. And something that camp helped me really well with this was giving me a laptop, because I was constantly doing things on a computer, and a lot of the students at Miami already had computers that either the parents bought them or they bought, and I was lucky enough to receive a laptop from camp that was for free, and that was something that I didn't have to worry about and add on to the financial struggle that I was already kind of going through, because college is very expensive. And I would basically just like to thank everyone on the camp operating team, specifically Mr. B and Mr. Tranger. just like for accepting the things that I was going through and changing my majors and things like that, because I did want to go into law school like freshman and sophomore year. But then I kind of looked at it realistically and found something that I was more passionate about, and they helped me through that and talked with me about it and worked through my camp profile to make sure that I had the best one going into Miami's business school. And something else that I'm really thankful for that not a lot of college freshmen can say is coming back to a support system. So after you graduate from high school, it feels like you don't have really anywhere to belong to. But I don't feel like that because I have a program like this where I'm literally coming to a dinner and having this amazing group of people that are supporting me still, even though I graduated, and I'm really appreciative of that. To wrap up, I just want to say directly to camp students, don't take this program for granted. Everything that they put together is for your benefit and will definitely help you in your future. Thank you.
Thank you. She graduated from Berkeley College High School in 2015, and she's had internships at Freshmark and Timken. She's graduating from the Ohio State University this May 2020, Ms. Kayla Ganam.
Hi everybody, like Ms. Martetta said, my name is Kayla. I'm currently a senior at The Ohio State University. Graduating finally in May 2020, I'm majoring in biological engineering with a minor in nuclear engineering. So I'm currently looking for a job. If you have any engineering interests, let me know. I'm more than happy to talk. So I want to talk about camp. Camp has been such a big part of my life since early college. I was lucky enough to be in the first camp class when I started the program, and I've seen it grow so much over the past 7 years. Camp gave me my first job. I was a senior in high school, pretty naive. And Mr. McFarland came up to me, he's like, your camp profile looks a little empty. Let's get you a job and get you some experience in the workforce. So I started out with housekeeping at Glenmore. And then the summer after that, I moved into an internship role at Freshmark, where I did practical engineering and learned so much about what it's like to be in industry, what it's like to be engineering, and what professional jobs actually entail. Even after that, after jobs coming in college, I still had camp as my support system. I have done countless resume reviews with Mr. B, interview skills. I have Mr. Sypek as my liaison. He's always more than happy to check up on me, see how I'm doing, what I need. The computers, the printers that camp gives us are pretty valuable as a freshman. Ohio State has printing, but you have to pay for it. So having that printer, having that laptop has been invaluable in the engineering career, especially you're always on the go. You always have assignments to work on, and so that laptop has been pretty crucial, and it's just a really good thing for any college student to have. To all the camp students out there now, even grads, I just really want to echo what everyone else has been saying, is take advantage of all the opportunities that camp has given you, is going to give you. These great, wonderful people work so hard to make our lives better, to make sure that we're prepared, to make sure that we're going to be successful in the future. And the best thing that you can do is take advantage of those opportunities, always thank them, and always be encouraged to do your best. I want to give a special thank you to Mr. and Mrs. Venturella, Mr. and Mrs. Sypek, and Mr. and Mrs. Greener. These 6 people have been pretty influential, pretty key figures into my upbringing, and they are the best people I could ever ask for. And also thank you to the operating committee, because they're taking time out of their Sundays every month, out of their lives, just to get back to the community, and I don't think there's anything better that they could do. So I want to wish everyone a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Thank you.
Now I have a special speaker. She graduated in 2014 from the Early College High School. She has had camp-sponsored jobs at Glenmore, at West Medical. She's actually on the operating committee right now. She's the first camp student to join the operating committee. She's working at Malone, where she received her undergrad. She's working there in admissions right now, and she's attending grad school at Malone. Ms. Justine Chester.
So Mr. B just did my whole first part of introducing myself. But I'll do it anyway because this is what I rehearsed. So again, my name is Justine. I'm 2014 Early College and Camp alum. I'm currently working on my master's degree in clinical counseling at Malone University. Shameless plug, if you're a senior and not applied to Malone, please do. The application is always good line, and we have multiple full-time or full tuition scholarships for a couple Stark County students, so be one of the first to apply. Thank you. And I also serve on the operating committee and the scholarship committee, both as a COG representative and a camp student. So camp was conceived in 2013, the year prior to me graduating from high school, and it was not nearly this big. It was actually hosted in a small room in the Habitat for Humanity, so I'm happy to see how much has grown, and it was also not as resourceful as it is now. For those who don't know, CAMP stands for Caring and Serving Together Apprenticeship and Mentoringship Program. And when I was a student, it was a lot more caring and serving than there was apprenticeships and mentorships. And that's awesome. I've personally dedicated my life to service. And there's a lot of great things to learn within that. But it's through the apprenticeships and the mentorship programs that students learn a lot of valuable skills that are transferable to any facet of life. So my very first job was at Glenmore Country Club. I worked as a spa receptionist, and my friends who were not in camp were asking me questions like, how could you serve the wealthy? How could serving the wealthy be at all beneficial to you in your career? Well, actually, at 17, I learned how to network, so now I can say with the most confidence I will never be unemployed because I worked there for 3 years with some of the best top-notch business professionals, doctors, attorneys, and so on. So if Malone never lets me go, hopefully that doesn't happen. I know that I can call Mr. Ventrella and I'd be employed shortly after. So not only did I learn how to network, but I learned business etiquette. I learned how to listen. There's a lot of value in listening. If you're surrounded by people and you want to get to where they are, make sure you listen and observe, because that alone will take you places. I learned that at Glenmore. There was just so many different things that I learned. So when I graduated, there were maybe anywhere between 15 and 20 apprenticeships. Now that we are getting close to being over 40 apprenticeships, so that's huge. They're all paid positions. You heard Mr. Ventrella speak on a few of them, so Tipping Company, AWP, Glenmore, West Medical, Goodyear, the list continues. Again, we're under 20 years old working in positions that people spend their whole lives working to get to. I remember telling my mom one day, maybe it was around 15 or 16, like, I need to leave the city of Canton. There was nothing there for me. You can't be rich, you can't be wealthy in this city. However, camp has taught me the exact opposite of that. So students, you do not have to leave Stark County to make an impact. There are people, look at our operating committee, they spend their whole lives working to get here, and we're spending our whole lives trying to get out. And again, they're huge business professionals. So in conjunction with the paid jobs that camp offers, you heard the students, all students will leave the laptop and a printer, because yes, you do have to pay for printing when you get in college. They help pay for driver's training. They help students get cars and help students pay for cars I won't get into all of that. We're offering scholarships, tips on how to be a better business professional, some business etiquette. Students will leave with some of the best resumes at their age than a lot of people my age or older in the city, and that's huge. And like Naya said, you will use it more than just finding a job or before you go to college, or after you go to college, you will use it beforehand. I actually built my resume off of my camp profile. But my favorite thing about camp, my most favorite thing, is the genuine love that is in camp, not only from the operating committee to the students, but from student to student. So I do also want to thank the entire operating committee, specifically Mr. Bruner, Ventrellis, the SciPex, for your continued love and support even as I continue in my school. I also want to thank all the students, knowing that I have to stand in front of you guys or mentor some of you guys, keeps me on my toes, continues to get me that drive to be successful. More great things are coming for camp. Happy holidays to you all. Thank you.
Thank you, Justine. That was a pretty profound statement you made about the entire operating community and everybody who runs camp. lives and works here and is successful. And all of these students are looking for ways to get out of Stark County and get out of Canton. So I want you to think about that. That's a very profound statement. I never looked at it that way. But if anybody wants to know what Early College High School is about, just go on the camp website and take a look at this tape with these students. If they want to know what camp is all about, have them do the same thing, because I think those 7 or 8 students you just saw epitomizes what the Early College High School and camp is all about. Thank you so much. We love you dearly. Give them a big round of applause. Okay, now I'd like to invite Mr. Bruner up to say a few words.
Mr. Venturella and the camp program, I want to thank you for what you offer to the students here as far as the internships and the service learning, and also the caring that's provided. So I'm going to make an analogy afterwards, but I want to make sure that I thank a couple of people for being here. Their presence is very important for us. We have our Ohio State representative for the 49th District, Mr. Thomas West, is here for us and just recently joined us. We also want to thank our Kansas City School District board member for being here with us, Mr. Mark Dillard. So those two folks, thank you. I like the boom. Okay, so I get on this kick about what's going to be the theme for what I talk about and present. So I want to talk about these two great groups that have been a part of the Early College organization. So if you can picture this, it's not like I'm this great superhero or something like that, but I can see myself with everything that I want to provide for students to get them prepared, but not really knowing how to go about and do it. So if you've ever seen Endgame, so if you haven't seen it, you got to go so you can understand what I'm talking about. But if you did go through and see that, just imagine anybody in education, especially with what we're facing now. You're there, you're kind of beat down and everything like that. There's all these expectations on what are you doing to prepare the kids properly. So you have the broken shield, you're getting up and you're trying to figure out, okay, now what? Then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, on your left, that's Camp with Tom Venturella. And if you notice in that movie, he appears and then he flies ahead of you to not only assure you that he's on your side, but that he's paving a path so that you can understand which way to go. So that's what I see with him. Then all of a sudden, these all-stars just appear, one out of the other. So the nameless group, the many folks that are on the outcome committee, and then you have these folks that are stepping up and that really care. So that's the cast representative with Ms. Rhonda Sipek and that whole orchestra, that group that joins you. So all of those folks that are part of OPCOM, that are part of CAST, that are part of CAMP, all of those folks offering internships for these wonderful students. I'm ready to take anybody on. I'm ready to pave a way for my students. And I do appreciate that I have that group right there to go ahead and fight the battle for me so that these students are properly prepared. Thank you very much for being here, and it's very much appreciated.
Thank you, Mr. Bruner. So, we're going to be wrapping up shortly. Staring at these desserts, I almost didn't even start this program. I was just going to have a blessing, and we'll just get right to the desserts. But the food smells great, and our chefs are getting ready. So, and also I got to tell you, I think one of the greatest highlights was trying to watch Ryan Seymour duck under those cameras over there holding 2 bags. That was funny, Ryan. I gotta tell you. I don't know how many people saw that, but that was funny. Okay, last year I outlined 5 key priorities for camp in 2019. So how did we do? Well, the first was to continue to develop summer apprenticeships and jobs. And I'm pleased to report an all-time high. We had 34 students employed this summer. I don't actually have a particular number of apprenticeships. It's really based on what students qualify, students that want it the most. For instance, in 2017, I think we had 28. In 2018, we dipped to 26. And like I said, this year we went up to 34. So really, it's the quality of the students that determine the number of internships and apprenticeships that we receive. And it's there for students who exhibit leadership, communications, enthusiasm, follow-up, attendance, and that's just to name a few. Those students will continue to receive opportunities at AWP, Timken, Freshmark, JRC, West Medical, Javasi, and other companies, too numerous to go on. Additionally, and this is very important and critical, and you heard Gabe Greer talk about it, 17 of those 34 students continue to work at these companies while they're attending either high school or college. Now, if you think of, by the way, camp pays pretty much for the buses that takes you to the seniors to the Big 8 schools for college visits. And in case you don't remember what the Big 8 is, Cleveland State, Hiram, Mount Union, Youngstown, Kent, Akron, Malone, and Walsh. Okay? So obviously they're all in Northeast Ohio. I'll talk about the scholarship money we received from those 8 colleges. Record high. But that whole path to going to school in Northeast Ohio, receiving as much scholarship money as you possibly can get, working at an internship and apprenticeship here while you're in high school, and being able to do it while you attend college is very much a strategy of ours. So this isn't something we just threw a dart at or picked out of a hat. So think about that. 17 to 34 students work here, and Gabe told you how important it was. So that's a check. The second priority was to start a job shadowing program to allow students to gain firsthand knowledge and experience in actual workplaces. This program will help narrow career choices and college selections. Very important, because when you don't narrow those down, sometimes that can cost money and time, okay? I'm happy to report that the program was kicked off. In fact, many of the students met their shadowing liaisons today. And on January the 12th, all students will be receiving their assignments, their job assignments. We'll try to do it during breaks, but Mr. Bruner has also will be allowing those students to take half days to actually work in the workplace. Our hopes is to get juniors 3 shadowing opportunities by the time they are ready to choose their college. Okay, seniors, we're going to do the best we can to get you your number 1 shot right now in the spring. So I think that's a check in progress. Third, secure additional college scholarship funds. I'm happy to report that the 2019 early college high school graduates received $950,000, Mr. Bruner, in funding. We also were fortunate to have Toby McCarron. He's a friend of Mr. Bruner's. He's a college planning expert. I want you to understand something. Families at, and please don't take this the wrong way, but Jackson or Hudson, they would hire Mr. McCarron. They hire him for $750,000 to do what he was doing for our children, and to guide them through college, and FAFSAs, and applications, and negotiating with schools to get incremental funding. This just happened this year. We kind of threw it together, but I'll tell you what, this is a gem. And Mr. Bruner and I are in discussions right now to make Mr. McCammon an integral part of camp from this year forward. So I really look forward to him in 2020. This could be big. Our fourth priority was to build on our partnership with the Young Leaders Society of Stark County. Young Leaders is, this is right from their website, this is right from their mission. Young Leaders Society is a group of passionate professionals who come together to educate, engage, and inspire individuals across greater Stark County. We harness our time and talents through mentorship, fundraising, and volunteerism to activate education initiatives and build a better community. Sounds pretty cool, right? This is a group we wanted to get to know. This is a group we wanted to be part of us because you don't want this 66-year-old white-haired, gray-haired guy when I'm on crutches in a wheelchair up here talking to you. So, you know, we wanted to get the young leaders involved, get them as part of the program and engage, and again, also to show you what we have in Stark County. What we have here, you don't have to run away and go as far as you can possibly get to achieve your goals. We have two new members of the operating committee. They are both young leaders, Ms. Laura Pringerman and Ms. Molly McDougall. They're young leaders, and they have already helped our students with profiles, resumes. They are liaisons to our students. They've done several career networking seminars for us, so this is a check. We are well on our way to forming a great partnership with the young leaders, and we thank you. Lastly, it was to expand the Camp Scholarship Program. It started a year and a half ago. We were blessed. All of a sudden, some private donations showed up. We put together a scholarship program, and we had donations totaling $45,000 a year. We were able to offer 2 scholarships. I believe both of those recipients are here. And those scholarships were $5,000 each, for each year renewable for 4 years in 2018. This year, in 2019, our donations total $55,000. We gave out 7 camp student scholarships. They were at $5,000 and $2,500 renewable each year for 4 years. So I'd say that was pretty cool, and again, that's a check. So 5 2019 priorities, and I hope my orchestra and the outcome, not I hope, I know it, they knocked it out of the park. Thank you. So how do you follow that up, Mr. V, you might ask? Well, you do it by the following 5 priorities for 2020. First, continue a successful internship and jobs program and build our students' knowledge, confidence, and workplace skills. Again, I don't put a number because the number varies based on student readiness. I will make sure that they are successful learning experiences and nurturing safe places to work where they are treated with respect. That is a key tenet of what we do in the jobs we have. All those companies in 7 years, 150 internships, Mr. Bruner, over 7 years. We have never had one workplace issue, and that's the way I like it. And unfortunately, I've been driving students to, one student to enter a nursing program at Stark State. She's on the phone with her boss. It's a fast food restaurant, I won't name them. It was on speakerphone. She called them to tell them what she was doing. She was going to be 20 minutes late. And I haven't heard that language since I left Queens, New York, 40 years ago. Terrible. And our students will not be subjected to that. Second is to once again secure more scholarship funds for our 2020 graduating class. Mr. Bruner, we need to solicit Mr. McCammon, Toby. We need to continue with his help and blow past $1 million in funding this year. Do you agree? All right. And students, we need your help. We can't get there without you putting in scholarship applications. You need to do your part and your work. We're giving you all of the possible tools we can give you, so please. And you heard from some of the graduates this year. It's important. As soon as you get into your senior year, starting in August, starting in September, you need to buckle down, you need to fill out those forms. And we're going to break $1 million in funding for the graduate class of 2020, right? Okay. Third is to achieve an annual scholarship goal of $75,000 and make it possible that almost every camp student who graduates receives some kind of financial support from our program. I'm happy to report we already have donations of $66,000 this year. We're just $9,000 short, and Mr. DePietro and his entire scholarship committee, which I think is almost all here, is up to the task. So we're going to achieve that goal, and you seniors, you got something good to look forward to for the scholarship program. Fourth is to execute the first full year of job shadowing. I explained it started here at this program. At the January seminar, you will receive your first job location, and then it's up to you and your liaison, your shadowing liaison, to figure out the timing, writing the letters to the organization. It will already be set up. These companies will be expecting you. By the way, they also have a list, and that was put together by the team, of what their responsibilities are when you do go there. This is not a coffee and donuts thing. If you're going for an engineering job, we want you to see what an engineering job is all about. You're going for an IT job, we want you to see what an IT professional does. If you're going for nursing, we want you to see what a real nurse does, okay? Lastly, organize and implement an alumni committee. It's already in the works. I had lunch and met with Justine Chester, Matt Kinlow, and Jacob Bowling. They have agreed that they will form an alumni program. Anybody who is still part of camp, you'll have input, but they're thinking of things like, well, if you have all the scholarship money, how about a grad scholarship program for the graduates, for graduate school? Just so happens that two of them are going for their graduate degrees, so which is okay. That's okay with me. But that might be an opportunity. I have recently redone resumes, which were one-page profiles, which are now two-page resumes, which I would put up against any student in Jackson, Hudson, or any other school. As a matter of fact, when I go sell the camp program, I go with 3 resumes. One is from the camp program, one is from Ohio State, and one is from Kent State. 9 out of 10 times, I asked them which is the Ohio State resume. It's the camp resume. 9 out of 10 times. So, trust me, we know what we're doing. I have people on my staff that have spent their entire life in human resources. I have CEOs. I have people that manage billion-dollar hedge funds. We know what we're doing, and we're not going to steer you wrong. The alumni can also work on things like transportation and cars. We have some ins, and that would be a time to help you also while you're in college, while you're graduating. And of course, the networking and looking for jobs. Those students I helped rewrite their resumes recently, their resumes are already circulated to companies like Campbell's, Snyder's Lance, Smuckers. They're all over the place right now looking for jobs, and they graduate in May. So, On behalf of my OpCom, we are looking forward to a great 2020. Now, my wife, Leslie, has given me the high sign. So I was going to try something new. I've never done it, which was, does anybody have any questions? But I'm going to skip it, if you don't mind. So just a couple of housekeeping items, because that ends the formal part of the program. All camp students, tech, and alumni, would you please line up here at the stage after the blessing? We're going to take our annual group photos. That will allow all of our guests and families to help yourself and please get something to eat. Students, after the photos, please step over to Mrs. Bruna. She's got an appreciation gift for all current students and the alumni. Please go over there. So students, I want to thank you for your dedication to your personal and professional growth. We know camp is a huge commitment. Peter Drucker once said, unless commitment is made, there are only promises and hopes, but no plans. You make us proud to serve you, students. Parents and guardians, thank you for entrusting us with your children and your support of the camp program. Thank you for your help with scheduling, transportation, family events, and I'm sure a whole lot of pushing and pulling and tugging. Thank you. It's a huge help to us, and I appreciate it. As I end the formal presentation, this is where I would usually call up Jack Pearson to give our blessing. Jack's liaison to college was Rich Loraco, my good buddy. They both were very passionate about engineering. And they both attended Ohio State. And they are together now. But just as last year, they're probably looking down on us with their big smiles. And they're probably making plans to watch Ohio State in their Fiesta Bowl. Please keep them both in your thoughts and prayers. On behalf of Mr. Bruner and the Camp Operating Committee, we wish you a Merry Christmas, Happy Kwanzaa, Happy Hanukkah, whatever you celebrate, and a very healthy New Year. With that, I'd like to invite Naya Smith up to give the blessing, please.
Hello everyone, if you could bow your heads with me. Dear Heavenly Father, I just thank you for the reason that we've gathered here today, God. I thank you for the celebration that we've already begun to take part in. I thank you for the vision that you've placed in so many of the hearts of the people that are here today, God. And I just thank you for the fruitation of this program that you have allowed. I also just ask that you would bless the hands that prepare the food, and may the food nourish our bodies for the fulfillment of our day. And we ask this all in your Son's name. Amen.
Thank you. That concludes the program. Students, please come out for your pictures. Okay, students, come on up, hustle up, let's get the pictures. All else, please help yourself to a wonderful meal. Get this out of the way.
they done, they gonna probably come up and get money on it.
You guys look like twins.
I would have went better. Why didn't some freshmen come because of the taco shoe rats?
Can you turn around?
No, tell them.
It did. But the witches they never pick me for anything like that. They always pick the same.
They said they weren't gonna, they said at Logan School, Kaya's sister, they said they're only sending boys from her school, not girls. Like, that's stupid.
Why there's a camera right there?
Keep that little stand that it's not okay. Walk around it and very careful. Get Oh, it's orange and brown.
I found it. I
Greg?
So, Starla Harris, are you Facebook friends with her? She had this whole thing and she said, I forgot that we led a journey in the group text this year. So I sent out a text with the picture. He's old enough for Everboard. And she texted her.
How's that working? Yeah, well, actually
4. I wanted to give you guys an update on Alex. He is doing good. There was a lot of pushing and pulling and threatening him, but he did. At one point, he finally sat down and said, listen, you're going to get your $3,500 scholarship. You can cut it out, and I paid for it. So unless you want to step back and see me running about every day, you better get your money. And all of a sudden, you're getting me. I'm like, oh, that's amazing. Really? He was going to come with us next week. So, there's seems to be a real background
They award it's a
Sorry to see you earlier.
No, I
saw you. Yeah, great to see you. Merry Christmas to
we've got to start to get back up at Speedway for summer break, or for Christmas break. I keep it on and off. So love is so effortless. I mean, amazing. Oh,
Good job, guys. Yeah, no, that's I know. Good to see you. Everything going well? Great. Great. Merry Christmas. Good to see you too. Hey, how you doing? Loving it? All right. Good to see you. I have to. Good to see you.
You're welcome. Thank God. Have a Merry Christmas.
I will.
Try to make sure it goes. That's not something. We're not very
He was going to come with us to he's still kind of new, but he still has a job at Speedway right now. He's working over Christmas break, and then he's going to start working every other weekend. There, we're going to go get him on Thursdays and take him back on Sundays. So, but he's like what Mr. Broders, after some yelling, screaming, and flat out threatening, he's doing good. He always says, you know, my parents, and I'm like, well, your mother would do the job, and you need to. But probably just look at this. Wait, I hate three. So, get it here. And suddenly what that means. Love you too, Kristen, it's okay. I like well, like, so he had was trying to get a work study job in Everett. They work a lot of hours, not a lot of jobs. I'm glad I get the folks to court. I was so much money to share, but I can't do it study. So I told him to start coming back home to this job. Come get you, bring it home, you can work 3 shifts and things like that. So, you can do it. I will. You guys have a Merry Christmas.
We did. Yeah, we did. We just.
It's like an SAT or
I just wanted to hear too.
So nice to meet you. Thank you.
Yeah, there you go. I'm sorry.
I'm headed out. It was nice to meet you. I applied for the one at Arts Academy, but somebody within
He had no hair. I know, that's why I need it.